There's a car that floats on water, not a boat, not an amphibious military vehicle, a luxury SUV, a production car that you can drive to the supermarket on Monday and paddle across a flooded river on Tuesday. It does tank turns spinning on its own axis like a piece of military hardware, because why build an expensive SUV when you can build a weapon that happens to be an expensive SUV? It has 1,200 horsepower, it weighs 3 tons, and in China right now it is considered one of the most extreme production vehicles on the planet, the YangWang U8, and today it is lining up against something that, on paper, has no business being in the same race. No launch control, no floating capability. 2 rungs lower on the ladder by its own manufacturer's admission, the Zeekr 9X. What follows is either one of the most predictable drag race results in recent memory, or one of the most shocking. I'll give you one guess which one it turned out to be. China is not playing the same game anymore. The conversation about Chinese electric vehicles in the West usually goes one of 3 ways. The first, dismissal, a reflexive, almost tribal rejection of anything that challenges the established order. German engineering is the gold standard. Japanese reliability is the benchmark. American power is the emotional reference point. Chinese cars are cheap alternatives for people who can't afford the real thing. The second, anxiety, the grudging, uncomfortable acknowledgement that something is happening in Chinese automotive development that doesn't fit the old narrative. That the quality gap is closing, that the technology gap isn't just closing in some areas, it has already closed, and the Chinese manufacturers are accelerating away on the other side. The third, genuine curiosity, the willingness to stand on a drag strip in China, beside cars that most Western audiences have never sat in, and ask the only question that actually settles arguments: which one is faster? This video is the third conversation. 2 Chinese luxury electric SUVs, one driver from Australia who came to find answers, one Chinese automotive expert who has put over 130,000 kilometers on his long-term test car in a single year, which in the West would be considered either insane or deeply impressive depending on how you feel about data. A drag race, a rolling race, and a result that rewrote the expectations of everyone watching. Chapter 1, 3 tons of YangWang and the problem of too much everything. Let's start with the car that should have won this. The YangWang U8 is, depending on your perspective, either the greatest achievement in Chinese automotive engineering or proof that the Chinese luxury market has completely abandoned restraint. Possibly both. The numbers are not normal numbers. 1,200 horsepower from 4 electric motors, one for each wheel, independently controlled, capable of producing that tank turn effect that went viral and made automotive journalists briefly question what segment of the industry they were actually covering. It floats. That sentence still doesn't feel real when you type it. It floats because BYD, the parent company behind YangWang, engineered a sealed underbody system capable of displacing enough water to keep 3 tons of luxury SUV buoyant long enough to paddle it across shallow crossings. This is not a party trick. This is the kind of engineering that happens when a company decides that the word impossible is a competitor's problem, not theirs. The U8 arrives at a drag strip carrying the weight of everything that sentence implies. The history, the hype, the floating, the tank turns, the 1,200 horsepower that should, by any reasonable interpretation of physics, make a standing start drag race a foregone conclusion. And then the Zeekr 9X pulls up alongside it. Chapter 2, the long-term car that had no right to keep up. The Zeekr 9X competing in this race is not even the top specification model. This is the Ultra variant with 2 electric motors, front and rear, producing just over 600 kilowatts of combined power. By any normal measure, that is a devastating, extraordinary number. By the standard of the car parked beside it, it is distinctly second tier. The U8 has twice the horsepower. The U8 has launch control. The U8 was built from the ground up to be a statement about what Chinese engineering can do when the budget has no ceiling. The 9X, meanwhile, has 130,000 kilometers on the clock, accumulated over 12 months of genuine, relentless testing by a team that buys their test cars outright, runs them until they're properly worn, and reports back with information that actually means something. Not 3 months with a manufacturer-supplied press car, not gentle motorway drives designed to return impressive range figures. 12 months, over 130,000 kilometers, real wear, real use. This car showed up to a drag race slightly weathered from the most thorough long-term test you can run on a modern electric vehicle. Chapter 3, the first race and the moment everything changed. The U8 launched with launch control engaged. This matters. Launch control in a 1,200 horsepower electric vehicle isn't the launch control you're familiar with from performance cars of 5 years ago. It is a system that manages 4 independently powered wheels simultaneously, maximizing grip, minimizing wheel spin, distributing torque in real time based on surface feedback happening faster than any human reaction can process. When you engage it and stand on the throttle of a YangWang U8, the car does not hesitate. It simply goes. The weight of all 3 tons of it becomes temporarily irrelevant as 4 motors collectively demand that physics cooperate. The U8 led. Of course it led. But then the driver of the 9X looked in his mirrors, and the U8 was getting closer. Not in the way that a slower car gets accidentally close because the faster one backed off. In the way that a car with genuine pace hunts down something ahead of it with systematic, inevitable authority. The gap that should have been growing was shrinking. By the time both cars crossed the finish line, the result was so close that the outcome required review rather than a simple glance. A car with half the horsepower, 130,000 kilometers on the clock, no launch control, and a lower position in its own brand's lineup had stayed within touching distance of the company's flagship weapon. The verdict from the expert behind the U8 was genuine shock, not the performative shock of someone making a video, the actual unscripted recognition that something had just happened that didn't fit his mental model of where these 2 cars should be relative to each other. Chapter 4. Strip out the launch control and watch what happens. The second race removed launch control from the equation entirely. This was supposed to make the result more interesting, give the 9X a fairer start, level the playing field at the line, and see what the cars could do when raw capability rather than software optimization determined the early meters. The logic was sound. The outcome was not what the logic predicted. The U8 without launch control is still 1,200 horsepower in a chassis designed around performance. The numbers don't change when you disable a feature. The motors are still there. The battery architecture 900 volt, one of the most advanced in any production vehicle, still delivers energy to those motors with the kind of speed and efficiency that makes the charging rates of European luxury EVs look like technology from a previous decade, compared to something like a flagship BMW electric SUV running under 2C charging capability. The Zeekr's 6C architecture represents a fundamentally different relationship between battery and powertrain, but without launch control, something shifted. The U8's advantage off the line softened. The first race had been decided partly by software intelligence managing those first critical meters. Without it, the gap became even tighter. By the rolling race, both cars approaching the start cones at 30 kilometers per hour and then unleashing everything simultaneously, the 9X had its moment. A slightly better reaction time off the mark, a gap opening that for the first time in the day went the other direction. The car that shouldn't be this close was, in the rolling race, winning. The expert in the U8 had a word for what was happening to his car in the rolling race. He said it was slow to react, that there was lag between input and response. And this is the detail that cuts through everything else, because in the world of high-performance electric vehicles, lag is the enemy. The entire premise of an electric drivetrain is instantaneous response. When the machine that's supposed to define your brand's performance capability is described as slow to react, that's a conversation that happens behind closed doors in engineering departments. Chapter 5, what 130,000 kilometers actually proves here is the number that deserves more attention than it gets. 130,000 kilometers in 12 months. The team behind this 9X didn't borrow it, didn't receive it as a curated press vehicle with a fresh battery and a set of new tires. They purchased it, used it relentlessly, treated it as a working tool rather than a showroom display, and arrived at a drag strip with it still capable of matching one of the most powerful production SUVs in the world. In an era where questions about electric vehicle battery degradation and long-term reliability remain genuinely contested, where the argument against EVs in many circles centers on what happens after years of real use rather than the first few thousand kilometers of showroom performance, the 9X's behavior in this race is evidence of something important: the degradation that skeptics predict, the performance drop-off that should logically accompany that kind of mileage accumulation. The battery chemistry changes that happen over repeated charge cycles at the kind of frequency a 130,000 kilometer annual figure demands. news. None of it showed up on the drag strip. A car with that life on it, running against a brand new flagship, hung on through 2 standing races and took the rolling race. You can frame that as impressive for the 9X. You can also frame it as an uncomfortable data point for anyone who assumed Chinese electric vehicles would follow the degradation curves of the technology they're accused of simply copying. Chapter 6, the bigger picture. Nobody is talking about. There's a 2026 update coming for the YangWang U8. More torque, faster acceleration, software improvements that address exactly the kind of rolling race lag that caused it in the later stages of this test, which means the car that already floats, already does tank turns, already produces 1,200 horsepower is being made more capable, and the Zeekr 9X, the car that showed up with 130,000 kilometers on it and nearly beat everything in sight. It's not the top specification. The top version exists. It was not here today. When automotive history looks back at this period, the mid-2020s, the years when the direction of the entire industry was being redecided in real time, the drag races will matter less than what they represent. 2 Chinese brands, 2 vehicles that 5 years ago most Western consumers had never heard of, racing each other to results that European and American manufacturers are watching very carefully from a very uncomfortable distance. The question isn't whether Chinese electric vehicles are competitive anymore. That question was settled some time ago. The question now is what the brands that built their identities in a different era do about it. Standing on a drag strip in China, there's something that happens when you travel to see something for yourself, rather than reading about it from a safe distance. The preconceptions you arrive with, the comfortable assumptions, the hierarchy of brands you absorbed from car magazines and childhood bedroom posters, they don't survive contact with the tarmac, with the actual sound of a 3-ton SUV accelerating so hard that the cabin remains almost completely silent while the landscape outside disappears. With the data from 130,000 kilometers of real use sitting in a spreadsheet that doesn't care about your expectations, the YangWang U8 floats. The Zeekr 9X nearly beat it. Both of them would leave most of what's in a Western dealership showroom behind in a straight line without breaking a sweat. And somewhere in an engineering facility on both sides of the world, people are looking at these results and deciding what comes next. We're living in the most interesting era of automotive history since the internal combustion engine replaced the horse. The question is whether you're watching it happen or still pretending it isn't. If this race surprised you even a little, that feeling is worth paying attention to. Hit like if you want more of this, not the safe, predictable content, the stuff filmed on drag strips in China with people who actually buy and use these cars rather than pose for press shots beside them. Drop a comment with the one that stunned you most, the U8's raw power, the 9X's 130,000 kilometer resilience, or the rolling race result that nobody in that car saw coming, because there's a conversation worth having below this video, and the algorithm rewards you for starting it. Subscribe if you believe that the most interesting automotive stories right now aren't in Stuttgart or Detroit, they're somewhere you haven't been looking yet.